And for our first game of the night, we have the Brooklyn Nets, who are the 7th seed in the East, going for a sweep in another underdog performance of the Brooklyn Nets as they are up 2-0 in this semifinals game. The 76ers find themselves down 2-0 in the series despite having home court advantage. We'll see if they can make a comeback. Big game. We saw the Nets possibly have one of the best offensive games in the game 2 of the semifinals, and how do they even get close to repeating that performance?
Well, they're going to need to have Kyrie Irving and Spencer Dinwiddie carry the load offensively and make a majority of their shots. You saw a lot of drawn plays set up for Brooklyn in game 2 to get those two open, and they hit a majority of their shots. And obviously, on the offensive glass, DeAndre Jordan, Jarrett Allen, and Claxton all had very big games. Rebounding wise as a group, and then scoring wise, obviously they only had one missed shot combined out of those three.
And we look at the 76ers side, that was the most disappointing outcome out of the two stars in Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Neither of them had a good game. In fact, they might have had their worst game in the playoffs in those two games besides Joel Embiid's game 1 in this series. If the 76ers going to have a chance tonight, both stars need to show up. And the effort by Tobias Harris and Josh Richardson so far has been pretty good in the series, so you can't complain there. It's got to be the two stars who step up here. We're going to get started here at the Barclays Center for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Simmons driving on Kyrie. Oh, it's going to have to be a tough fadeaway, and it's blocked.
Oh, blocked. Philadelphia starts here in game 3 with a 24-second violation. Now what you'd
And
like to see.
that's just speaking volumes to their struggles so far in the series. This series has been all about Kyrie Irving and the bigs for the Nets. They just continue to dominate those two positions. Oh, but Embiid blocks Joe Harris. Good start on defense for the 76ers. If the Nets continue to abuse those positions, there's going to be little hope for teams to beat them. Blocked by DeAndre Jordan as Josh Richardson tries to go for a dunk. LeVert now gets blocked.
Oh, LeVert
There's only
blocked
4 blocks to
Embiid.
start.
Both offenses cannot get going here. The defenses have come out ready to play.
Josh Richardson for 3. Whoa, and Embiid gets shoved, but no call. LeVert's going to try and drive in again. He can't finish, but DeAndre Jordan is there.
Oh, DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan starts off where he left game 2, offensive rebound putback to get us going here for the first points in game 3.
And now Embiid can't finish in the paint. And big game, how are the 76ers going to change this poor pace so far for their offense?
Well, you'd have to. You'd think Philadelphia would try to get Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons driving to the basket or posted up. You haven't seen very much of that in the last 2 games. And if you're Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving is here. Kyrie is now somehow gets that around Embiid, but Embiid with the rebound. You'd like to see maybe drop a play for Kyrie Irving to get an open look.
If you're the 76ers, this is a rare opportunity where the Nets are actually struggling in the game. Oh, and Embiid takes a fadeaway when Kyrie Irving's on him. Questionable shot there. When the Nets are struggling this series, it's been far and few to come by. And the 76ers haven't even scored in the game yet. We're almost halfway through the first quarter.
Andre Jordan scores again there.
And he has all 4 of the Brooklyn Nets points. And the 76ers are going to call timeout here. Brett Brown, seen enough, and it just seems like a repeat of games 1 and 2 in the series. Big game. This is the best we've seen out of the Philadelphia 76ers defense. What seems to have been changed in their defense?
Yeah, well, if it's the 76ers, it's here Tobias Harris open 3, and Tobias Harris hits down the first half of Philadelphia. The defenses, both teams have been very good. Obviously, you've seen the 76ers seem to have changed it up a little bit, not allowing Kyrie Irving to get very many drives into the lanes. I think you've seen Ben Simmons play some better one-on-one defense. Obviously, that time Kyrie able to put a move on Simmons and get to the bucket and score. And Brooklyn, they've just forced some tough shots by the 76ers. That their defense was pretty stellar in game 2, and it's kept up here so far.
Oh, now Simmons is blocked.
Block again.
That's his second block of the game.
Allen.
Oh, that gets tipped. Oh, they'll get the steal. Josh Richardson, pull up 3. He can't hit. In big game, we saw the Nets have one of the best playmaking games, with Harris have 5 assists, LeVert have 7 assists, Kyrie 4 assists, Dinwiddie 5 assists. It was just a crazy performance out of their whole team passing wise. Can they continue to do that tonight, or at least close to what it was?
Well, you think that there's no way that they can score the way that they did in game 2. That was pretty insane for them to shoot the ball the way they did. But I think there's a very good chance that they can continue to run those plays to get open looks and get offensive boards like they did in game 2 to possibly help win this game.
Thibault and Embiid get stuck on each other, and it's another block, but Joel Embiid's there this time. We saw Spencer Dinwiddie shoot a perfect percentage in game 2. And obviously, we don't expect that to happen tonight, but if he can at least shoot above the 50% threshold, that's exactly what you need out of your 6-man.
I saw him miss that.
Joel Embiid, little pull-up mid-range, can't hit. The 76ers have 5 points in this first quarter. Just terrible struggle on offensive end right now. Yet the Nets only have 8, and DeAndre Jordan scored half of those points. Prince will get to the line as Embiid picks up his first. Nets extend the lead to 5. We'll see if the 76ers can answer with 10 seconds left. Oh, and Embiid will get fouled. We'll see if the Nets can get shot up. 5.1 seconds left. In Dinwiddie's hands. He should get a 3. Pull up from the logo. Can't hit. And Brooklyn Nets are up 10-7 with a Very defensive first quarter. We'll be back after the break. Big game in the first round. We saw a lot of teams, specifically teams with a higher seed, lose the first two games in the series, but then they would come back to the Way Stadium and they would perform even better than they did at home. How did the Nets avoid that from happening tonight?
Well, they're going to need their scorers on offense to be able to make shots. They've struggled at home in both games that they've had at home so far in these playoffs. They're going to need Kyrie Irving and Spencer Dinwiddie to make shots, and they're going to need their offensive rebounds. Well, actually, just rebounding overall. Obviously, Philadelphia has Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, who are two pretty good rebounders. They're going to need DeAndre Jordan, Jared Allen, and Claxton off the bench to really grab some boards and probably add in some offensive boards.
Claxton's in the post. He takes a little mid-range. Can't hit. The 76ers have an opening as the Nets continue to struggle offensively. Embiid has a mismatch. Will he get the shot up? He does. A hook shot over Dinwiddie and Jordan in the double team. Alley-oop. Oh, and Embiid can do nothing but sit there. DeAndre Jordan, half the Nets' points still.
DeAndre Jordan has come out very strong here in Game 3.
And big game, I know in his Clippers days, he was one of the few people on that team who pretty much accepted his role as just being, he was one of the main people finishing the lobs in Lob City, but it seems he's getting more of an opportunity to become a scorer on Brooklyn in this playoffs. Are you surprised by this?
Well, in a way, yes, but I guess if you really think about it, he was signed this offseason to be kind of their third or fourth star behind Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and obviously Kevin Durant's out for the year. Obviously, Kyrie Irving and Spencer Dinwiddie have kind of handled the 1-2 punch roles for offense, but DeAndre Jordan in this series has taken advantage of having either Joel Embiid or somebody smaller on him.
And he did the same thing against the Raptors, which is what's giving Coach Kenny Atkinson so much confidence in his bigs in the series. And someone who's been absent almost the entire playoffs for the 76ers has been Al Horford. Maybe besides a few blocks here and there. Usually expect him to step out and hit a few threes or even a mid-range, but he's barely been in their offense big game. And for what they're paying him, I don't know that it was worth it.
Yeah, no, he's been very quiet, and like you said, not really worth it for after that contract he signed this offseason.
The one thing that's a bright spot in this game, the 76ers three-point shooting has been pretty good, but they're still only up by one. But here comes Simmons. He'll give them a three-point lead. If the 76ers can get some momentum offensively in this game with the Nets' struggles, they can easily take this game, but it's got to be consistent offense. Simmons holding out of the ball. He wants the matchup with Musa, but he gives it by his hairs. Fade away. Can't, it's not there, but Horford,
Oh, Al
as we
Horford.
talk about him. Wow. And he's someone who brings energy to any roster he's on, whether it was his Hawks days, Celtics, and now the 76ers. When he's on with his shots, or even offensive rebounds, steals, or blocks, it makes the whole team better. But they really haven't seen that peak Al Horford leadership in a 76ers uniform, as we talked about earlier. The Nets continue to miss these three-point shots and mid-ranges. 12-4 run by the 76ers currently. Thibault mid-range, can't hit.
Oh, and here comes Kyrie Irving all the
Oh,
way
it's
down the lane.
blocked
Oh, he's blocked.
by Al
Horford having a
Horford.
pretty nice second quarter here. Here comes Simmons up to Glenn Robinson scores. Just like that, Philly's up 7.
And as we start talking about Al Horford, he's starting to show up both defensively and offensively, but that's an and one. Tobias Harris stayed on Jared Allen's back a bit too long there. The 76ers have under a minute here. Glenn Robinson in the paint. Is it there? But Embiid gets the rebound. Can't score, but he gets another one. Misses again. DeAndre Jordan with great rebounding there in defense. Kyrie for three. No good. About a 5-second difference in shot clock and game clock. We'll see who the 76ers go to. Simmons hook blocked by Jordan. Oh, and Jordan's there for an alley-oop. Simmons for three. Oh, and it hits the back of the rim. The 76ers' slim lead will be 2 points at halftime, as this game has been a lot of offensive struggles and the defenses have showed up. We're going to head into our halftime show, as the percentages are the story of this halftime. 31% by the 76ers, yet they lead in this one, and that's mainly due to their three-point shooting in the first half. Well, the Nets shooting only 38%, yet the 76ers have dominated the offensive board, but Embiid just hasn't been able to finish all of them, as he only has 6 points. And big game, look at those huge blocks numbers. 5 for Nets, 3 for the 76ers, and 2 steals. What do you have to say about the defenses in the first half?
Well, that first quarter really was where the defense started. Both teams really struggled scoring the ball to start. Obviously, the 76ers were able to get going there in the second quarter, and Brooklyn was able to end the second quarter there on a nice little run to cut the lead to 2.
And with that note, we'll head into the second half. We're here in the second half at the Barclays Center, as the Nets down 2. But they've shot a better percentage by about 7% compared to the 76ers. And the defense have been very dominant in this game. This seems like a perfect game where Joel Embiid and the bigs of the 76ers could dominate this Nets team. LeVert for three. Wow. And big game. If you're the Nets right now, do you keep taking these threes? A lot of them are wide open, but they just can't hit them.
Oh, you gotta take the wide open threes, so you can't pass those up. And obviously they've had problems driving in the lane. You saw how many blocks the 76ers had, so
Simmons gonna get his first foul as Kyrie will head to the line. And I think that's a pretty good solution right there. If the Nets can find ways to get their free throw numbers up, that help in the course of this defensive game. Tobias Harris in the post. Whoa, he's gonna get stolen by LeVert. Here come the Nets. Kyrie for three. It's good, and the Nets have the lead. And big game if you're the 76ers, their only answer has been on jump shots. How do they start attacking the paint against these two dynamic bigs on the Nets?
well, the 76er Al Horford is just now. Embiid has played well down low defensively, but Al Horford hasn't been great. Obviously, in the second quarter, Horford had a block or two, but he's really been the problem for Philadelphia defensively. But it's also on the guards because the guards have been allowing um, Kyrie and others to drive and either take tough shots and allow easy offensive rebounds or dish it down low to the big men for easy layups.
And Richardson will tie it up at the line, and Kyrie Irving's quickly hit back-to-back threes here. Seems like he might start heating up. Musa's going to take a three. Can't hit. And it's good. Now 76ers hit another three. And if you're the Nets, how do you tell your players to guard the three-point line? Much more improved in the second half because they've really struggled here.
Well, this is something that coming into the series we thought would maybe be a problem for Brooklyn was their defense out on the 3-point line. At least, obviously, they have two of the better defensive big men, DeAndre Jordan and Jared Allen, starting, but that there haven't been very many issues so far in the series. As Claxton fires up a three, that's no good. You saw the last time down, Kyrie got blocked, and Philadelphia was able to finish. And here comes Richardson again, lays it in.
And Richardson already 6 points in the third quarter. He's performing very well in this series after he led the 76ers in scoring in game 2. Here comes Simmons. He can't finish. Oh, Richardson almost goes up for the tip slam. 76ers right now have a 7-point lead. We'll see if they can extend it. Claxton takes another jumper. He hits finally. That'll be a 5-point lead heading to a 76ers timeout for the 76ers. And big game, what do you think Brett Brown's talking to his team about right here with a 5-point lead?
Well, they've been getting on the fast break very good here in this third quarter, but maybe he's trying to drop a play or something for them for the next time down. Maybe set up some better defensive stops. I don't know.
He's also out of the break. He's now put Al Horford in at the center position, but the Nets will keep Jared Allen and Claxton out there. That should set up a mismatch for Tobias Harris against Jared Allen. Oh, and Al Horford on the offensive glass. He posterizes Spencer Dinwiddie. Wow, and he's really showed up in this game. For the little opportunities he's had, he's capitalized. And then he converts the and-one for an 8-point lead for the 76ers. Kyrie turnaround Jay. He can't hit, but Allen's there. And big game with how Al Horford's been playing in this game. If you're Brett Brown, how do you find his shot in the offense, or do you just let the offense flow like it has been?
Or you think that they maybe let the offense flow how it has been with how they've played so far.
76ers defense playing much better here. They don't let Irving
They
score as
forced
Burks.
they forced Kyrie into some very tough shots so far here in this game.
And a nice slam there is Glenn Robinson III, who was in a dunk contest a few years ago, goes for the reverse jam and gets the foul as well. Big game. We saw Kyrie Irving lead the Nets to a 24-23 lead early in this third quarter. What's the answer if they want to take the lead back in the fourth quarter?
Well, they're gonna need their big men to step up and play some good defense on in the paint and on Joel Embiid when Joel Embiid comes back into the game, and obviously Ben Simmons as well. Oh, here comes a lob, too high though by Kyrie to Jared Allen over his head, and they're gonna give the ball back to Philadelphia.
Another issue with the Nets defense this game. It just seems like the 76ers can get whatever three-point shot they want. I don't know if that was part of a game plan to let them shoot a lot, but it's just been pretty rough for their defense. Oh, and Embiid can't finish, and that'll be the last shot of the third quarter. The 76ers hold a 40-34 lead. We'll see if they can extend this series to a game 4. We're back here in the fourth quarter of this game 3 of the semifinals. And the 76ers, down 2-0 in the series, find themselves ahead by 6 leading the fourth quarter. Big game. If they're going to close this game out, what is their plan offensively and defensively?
Oh, a lob finish there, offensive rebound there for Joel Embiid, throws it down, gives the 76ers an 8-point lead.
Spencer Dinwiddie. Oh, and he makes it. And one. Wow. Embiid looked like he had that blocked. But somehow Spencer Dinwiddie gets it to go. Tobias Harris, fadeaway, can hit.
Oh, LeVert, pull up 3, no good.
We've seen LeVert take shots like that no matter how much time's left in a game, and he's always willing to take bold shots. Here comes Simmons, floater blocked. And it seems the Nets' fast break is starting to haunt the 76ers after their huge fast break third quarter. LeVert off the screen, another 3. No good.
Harris
Harris
pull up 3, no good.
And both teams going back and forth on pull-up threes or mid-ranges and just can't convert. Big game if you're the Nets. When are you bringing Kyrie Irving back in this ball game?
Well, I'd say it's very similar to the Bucks game yesterday. You'll probably see him in at around the 2:30 to 2-minute mark here in this fourth quarter for a late push, whether they're up or down, to try and put the game away or bring them back.
Simmons, good pass to Al Horford, and he scores again. 7-point lead for the 76ers. And if you're the 76ers, big game, do you continue to play the fast-paced three-point shots going up and fast break points, or do you slow it down with less than 4 minutes here with the lead?
Well, after that slam there by Simmons, you'd think that they might slow it down here. Now up 9 to 3:30 left. Unless they get any more fast break dunks like Simmons just had, then you can go to the bucket and try to finish. But I think on any other possession, you might see them slow it down now and now wait for the best shot available that they can get.
With time running out for the Brooklyn Nets, we'll see if they bring in their star, Kyrie Irving, with 3:26 left in this ball game. They do not yet, and like you said, big game, they might be waiting till that 2:30 mark. Instead, they're going to use their other star, apparently, who showed up in both series in the playoffs so far, DeAndre Jordan. Oh, and it's blocked by Jordan.
And a block.
Tobias Harris, though, hits the tough jumper to silence this crowd and sends the lead back up to 9. LeVert will answer with the floater. We are below 3 minutes now. And you look at those shooting percentages. The Nets have shot 9 less shots, big game, than the 76ers. What has been the key for the 76ers to shoot 9 more shots in this game?
Well, I think some of that is offensive rebounds, but I'd say a lot more of it's fast break. I think they've gotten on the fast break more. They've, even off missed shots, they've really just gotten out ahead and really ran the court very well. And that's allowed them to get a lot more shot attempts up and allowed them to get a 9-point lead here.
And I know we said in the pregame show, both stars need to show up here, but you just saw on your screen, Ben Simmons only has 8 points in this game. Oh, and Joel Embiid will help LeVert up after he fouls him. And the Nets continue to cut this lead down to 7. We'll see if their defense could show up as Kyrie Irving has now subbed back in. Embiid, hook shots, can hit. Kyrie for 3. It's good.
Oh,
The lead is down to 4.
a deep 3 there by Kyrie. Brooklyn's going to need some stops here now.
And then this Barclays Center crowd is very loud to try and get the sweep for the Brooklyn Nets. But here comes Josh Richardson for 3. No good. The Nets have 1 minute, 20 seconds left.
A good play drop there by Philly.
Kyrie, he does take the step back. He can hit. We are down to less than a minute here in the Barclays Center. Here comes Simmons. Can hit. Big game. That seemed like way too quick of a shot up 4 here. Kyrie again
and Kyrie
for 3.
a 3. No good. And Embiid able to grab the rebound and he's fouled there by LeVert. Only foul Simmons this time, and Simmons not a great free throw shooter.
And I'll be honest, I'm surprised if you're the
first, though.
76ers, you're not bringing Richardson out there to shoot the 3s or Tobias Harris, but it doesn't matter. Simmons hits both of them. And with the 76ers up 6 here, big game, are you going to keep going to Kyrie, and do you have time to go for a quick 2?
Well, yeah, they were just down 4 and they fouled. But I'd say the 2 is kind of out of the question. You're going to go for a 3 here. Obviously, if you miss, this game is all but over. But I'd be very shocked, though, if they went for 2, because that wouldn't make much sense for them to be up 4 and then foul with about 40 seconds left there.
And our player of the game so far, Ben Simmons. He may not have the points on the board, but his playmaking this game has been great for the 76ers 3-point shooting. Time running down. Allen's got to take a shot. Hook shot. It's good. And they're going to go to Simmons again. He misses the first. Hits the second, though, and the Nets will use their last timeout. Big game, we'll see if the Nets can get a quick 2 or 3 up once again.
A lot of time being wasted. Oh, Kyrie drives.
Oh, and
Kyrie
he gets
tries zero. Oh,
fouled.
Kyrie fouled.
And that's not the worst play there, as the clock will stop. He hits both. It's a 3-point. And big game now, Embiid will be shooting free throws here.
And beat a better free throw shooter than Ben Simmons.
LeVert for 3. Can't hit. Jordan tips it. It'll be Nets ball, though, as must have hit Embiid. Nets are going to have to get up a quick 3. Oh, it goes to Joe Harris. He's not at the 3-point line, though. They're just going to throw a lob.
Oh,
They can't get it to
lob,
go.
somehow,
Kyrie for 3.
now it's...
And that's going to do it as the 76ers avoid the sweep and now are down 2-1 in the series with that 55-50 win. We're going to head into our post-game shows. We take a look at the Brooklyn Nets first. Big game, I think this might be Kyrie's worst shooting percentage of the playoffs so far, shooting 33% with 5 of 15. He shot well from 3 and the free throw line, but overall shooting-wise, he just wasn't all there even with the 17 points. DeAndre Jordan, though, great game, and Jared Allen. They've just continued to show up every game in the playoffs for the Nets. Anything else that stands out for you for the Nets?
No, obviously, Kyrie didn't have his greatest game, and neither did Spencer Dinwiddie or Caris LeVert, but they only lost by 5 because their big men really stepped up yet again and played well, but it just wasn't enough here in Game 3 to try and sweep the series. So this one will be going to a Game 4.
And we'll take a look at the 76ers, and that's the type of game you want to see out of Ben Simmons. 11 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. Although the 4-11 shooting, you'd like to see that improve, especially with more of his inside shooting, but he was playmaking for them, leading them in the fast break, and getting them easy 3-point looks. And Joel Embiid, 3 for 11 in this game, yet they still win. I think that's a good sign going into Game 4, as he did dominate the glass for them. Anyone else big game for the 76ers?
No, as you said, obviously their top 3 stars really played very well. Didn't shoot well, but just played well. Obviously, Simmons put in 11, 4, 5. Tobias Harris put in 10 points at one of his better performances so far in these playoffs. Embiid 10 and 13. And obviously, Richardson added some more points in there. And it was a good overall team effort here by the 76ers. Everyone kind of produced importance of points. Horford with another one. And yes, this one will be going to a Game 4. If you're Philly, you got to be pretty happy with this.
All right, and we'll take one last look at the team comparison as 76ers win this game 55-50. And the 76ers will see a Game 4 once again in Brooklyn. We'll be taking a short 5-minute break as we have Lakers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder trying to avoid a sweep as well in their home building. We'll see you soon.